Let's solve auditing problems for stockholders' equity. The best way to solve this type of problem is to plan the solution. So our requirement here is compute for capital stock, retained earnings, additional paid-in capital, and the total stockholders' equity. So if the total requirement is we will be solving auditing problems for stockholders' equity. So we start with the basic, which requires for the capital stock, the additional paid-in capital, retained earnings, and total stockholders' equity. So the best way to prepare for this type of problem is to plan your solutions. Since if you already get your capital accounts, your retained earnings, and additional paid-in capital, that's also the component of your last requirement, which is the total stockholders' equity. So that means you have to plan. So how are you going to plan? For starters, you have first to identify which of these accounts are part of your stockholders' equity. So let's get to these accounts one by one. Authorized capital stock, of course, it's part of capital, cash dividends payable, it's part of liabilities. So out. Donated capital, it's part of additional paid-in capital. Check. Gain on sale of treasury stock. Although the term that's been used by your client is gain, when you sell treasury stock above cost, it's additional paid-in capital and not gain. So it's part of stockholders' equity account. So this is part. Check. This is cash dividend payable, liability, no. Donated capital, yes, part of APEC. Gain on sale of treasury stock. So this is additional paid-in capital. Net unrealized loss on available for sale securities. Unrealized loss are part of our other comprehensive income, which is part of stockholders' equity. So OCI. So this unrealized loss is part of our stockholders' equity. Premium on capital stocks, yes, of course. Premium on bonds payable, so that's liability account. Bonds payable, long-term liability. Premium on bonds payable is a part of your liabilities. Reserve for bond sinking fund. So reserve for bond sinking fund, of course, that's retained earnings appropriated for your bonds payable. So we appropriate retained earnings for that. So this is deduction to retained earnings. Reserve for depreciation, of course, that's not part of the case. So this is X. Revaluation increment on property. Revaluation increment on property, of course, is part of your stockholders' equity. Revaluation increment. Revaluation surplus. It's part. Retained earnings unappropriated. Of course, retained earnings part of stockholders' equity. Subscribed capital stock, check. Subscription receivable, check. Stock warrants outstanding, part of your additional paid-in capital, check. Treasury stock, of course, deduction and unissued common stock. Number one, common stock issued. So, you have authorized common stock, which is authorized common stock is 4 million. Then you have unissued common shares, unissued common stock of 800,000. So unissued 800,000. So that means 3,200,000 was issued. That's our answer for requirement number one. Requirement number two is additional paid-in capital. So, as I've said, solving auditing problems requires planning for your solutions format. So you have your issued common shares. Let's solve for additional paid-in capital. Your additional paid-in capital, of course, is comprised of 1. Donated capital of 800,000. Cash dividends payable out. That's liability. So you have additional paid-in capital. You have donated capital of 800,000. 800,000. So that's done. Then we have, what else do we have for additional paid-in capital? Treasury stock. Same gain on sale of treasury stock. Again, as I've said, it's APEC. So gain on sale of treasury stock, that's part of additional paid-in capital APEC. 80,000. Net unrealized loss is OCI. Premium on capital stock. Premium on capital stock is 320,000. Premium on bonds payable, that's liability. Reserve, revaluation increment. Revaluation increments, that's part of revaluation surplus, retained earnings. So, what else do we have here? Stock warrants outstanding. Stock warrant outstanding of 200,000. Stock warrants outstanding 200,000. So our total additional paid-in capital is 1,400,000. 1,400,000. That's our answer in number 2. Next, we have how much is the appropriated retained earnings. Again, we are planning to have a total, to solve for the total stockholders' equity. Might as well, we put all the retained earnings here, the appropriated and then unappropriated. So because number 3 we're looking for, in number 3 we're looking for appropriated retained earnings. So you have here, retained earnings unappropriated of 720,000. We have reserved for sinking fund of 400,000. So we have here, retained earnings. So we have reserve for sinking fund, which is reserve for sinking fund 400,000. Then every time the company reacquires its stock or purchase treasury stocks, you must appropriate retained earnings for that. So appropriation for treasury shares of 144,000. So your total appropriated is 544,000, while your unappropriated, which is 720,000 minus this, 144,000 is 576,000 unappropriated. So your total retained earnings for the period is 1,120,000. 1,120,000. But of course, the requirement for number 3 is the appropriated. So our answer for appropriated here is 5. This is number 3. 544,000. Appropriated retained earnings. Then other components of our, so we have here your capital stock, your additional paid-in capital. You also have your revaluation surplus. Your revaluation surplus is here. Revaluation increment on property, which is 800,000. Of course, there are no other items under revaluation surplus. It's 800,000 here. Then we have, this is already done, treasury stock, unissued common shares. So, we have treasury shares. Of course, treasury shares are deducted at cost. So, treasury shares at cost deduction in our 144,000 stockholders equity section. And we have subscriptions. You forgot. Sorry, you forgot the subscriptions. So you put here. This is under topic. Subscribe capital stock of 480,000. Then subscription receivable of subscription receivables of 120,000. So that's 360,000. So all of this will give you our total stockholders equity of 6,640,000. 6 million our total stockholders equity. 6,640,000. So that's our answer for number 4. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, 4. Number 4 is 6,640,000. And last is the legal capital. Legal capital is of course your common stock issued, which is 3,2. Okay, put my answer here. Capital stock issued 3,200,000, and our subscribed common stock of 480,000. Last is subscribed. Common stock of 480,000. So, common stock issued plus the subscribed, 3,680,000 is our legal capital. So that's our answer for stockholders equity problem 1.